What is going on, Rubber Duckies fans? Welcome back to episode 2 of the Duck Pond podcast. My name is Seamus Andrew. I'm also joined here with my co-host Peter Buffone. We got a lot on the plate today. We had 2 games since we last met, so some good highlights from this past week, and excited to get into it. Peter, how you doing?
Oh, good. Happy to be back. Like you said, 2 big wins, and we're happy to be back on the pod and get rolling for another one, eh?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So, I guess we got to lead off with the big news, at least today, the 19th, as we're recording this one, is Jim Montgomery is out in Boston, sacked after a 5-1 loss to Columbus.
Yeah, I mean, Monty's done nothing wrong for that team. I mean, it's a team issue, right? Like there wasn't enough there as a team, and you fire the coach who just 2 years ago led them to the best record in NHL history.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a stat on there. Let me just pull it up real quick. I'm pretty sure he's fired with a 120, 41, and 23 record. Put it that
Yeah,
way.
that's
I
over
mean,
700 points percentage. That's
yeah,
nuts. And the same
it
thing
really
happened to
is.
Bruce Cassidy, like with the Bruins 2 years ago.
And look
When
what he
is it?
did.
Yeah, he goes to
Look,
Vegas and wins cups.
yeah,
When are the
exactly.
Bruins going to start holding Don Sweeney and Cam Neely accountable? As upper management.
I mean, I know we talked a little bit about last week too, and you bring up that upper management, all the moves they made this offseason, and again, just not panning out the way they expected at all. I mean, we
No,
talk about even the last game, 5-1 loss to Columbus, as I said, and Columbus being easily one of the worst teams in the league. Um,
yeah,
there's really no reason why this team should be on that type of trend, especially in this division that is at least the number 2 and 3 spots are really up anyone's game in that
yeah.
Atlantic division.
I mean, as of right now, Bruins have lost. They haven't won a game since November 3rd.
It's just wild with that lineup.
Two overtime losses, but they haven't won a game since November 3rd. 2-0 shutout to the Kraken. They've lost 4-0 to Maple Leafs. They have 1 win, 1 overtime win against the Flames. But even in
Yep.
that game, they gave up a 3-1 lead in the game. You know,
I mean, we're seeing that a lot, especially around the Atlantic. I mean, look at the Sabres also giving up leads. Look at the Duckies. I mean, it's just, but we'll get into the Duckies a little bit later. Let's stick with the Bruins right now. And if you look at the teams they lost to, I mean, the Stars are a good team. Um, and the fact that they saw the Blues within a week of each other
yeah, it
is
was
wild.
within 4 days.
Yeah. I mean, that's just wild being, a West Coast team and making that trip. But Blue Jackets 5-1, Senators 3-2, 4-0 to the Leafs, who have been also struggling.
Yeah.
Um, I don't really know how I don't really know what they can do at this point except to make that move, something to jumpstart this offense.
Yeah, and usually it's the coach that takes the fall, unfortunately, even if it is a great coach like Monty, because he's going to go to another team and he's going to be successful. Now he's a winning coach.
I mean, like we said, you look at what he really did with that team, and it's incredible. But I did see that as I'm scrolling through Twitter here as we're talking, he did have a little I don't want to say kerfuffle, but a little bit of a louder talk with Marchand on the bench last game. So um
Yeah, but that's a
whatever
coach
that
holding his players accountable, especially as captain.
which especially it's what you like to see, and something, as a Sabres fan myself, I would like to see a little bit more here also. But
Hmm. Yeah,
um
absolutely.
yeah. And I'm looking at a stat right here for the last 2 Bruins coaches. Bruce Cassidy, 67 percent win percentage. Jim Montgomery's coming leaving with 65. So right about the same. Montgomery actually has him in the points percentage at 71,
Yeah.
which is just a wild statistic, and the
Now,
Bruins making this change.
with that coach behind the bench, you are expected to get a point in 71% of your games.
Yeah.
You know,
Easily. And if we look at their games, I mean, the one Blues game, the Senators. Well, at least he was taking them to overtime, at least getting a point out of a couple of them, but not too many. I mean, two two blowout losses in their last three, but the Stars are a pretty good team. So,
Absolutely.
but still, two blowout losses in their last three, um, by four more goals. And if you keep looking back, half of their last six are four or more goal losses. And
Yeah.
it's same thing that's plaguing the Sabres. It's the secondary scoring. There's no one there for them at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something that needs to be addressed on a team level. It's not just the coach's fault.
And if you pull up I'm just pulling up the stats here to actually take a look at it. I mean, their top scorer right now is Marchand. He has 5 goals in 20 games.
Yeah.
I I well, I'm sorry, actually Pasternak, 8 goals in 20 games, my bad. Followed by Marchand with 5, and then Coyle and two others tied at 4. I mean, there's literally no help with this team
No,
right now. I mean,
there
uh,
isn't.
like you said, they're gonna have a lot of work to make up coming in for the rest of the year. And again, we're only a quarter of the way through the season, so there's plenty of time to make that up. And at least they're still in contention for a divisional spot, which is I don't see this team if they do get in the playoffs. I still don't see this team, especially if they can turn around making it in a wild card slot. They
Mhm.
should still have a divisional spot making it into the playoffs this year.
Yeah. It's just still open. So, you don't know. You just never know.
And we talked about their other issues in the front office. Their big signing over the I'd say their biggest signing over the summer, Jeremy Swayman, and he's rocking a 347 goals against average with an 884 save percentage. So
Mm.
that's where your money's going. And if you're in Boston and you're looking to see where all the cap's going,
Yeah.
to Sway. I mean,
And he hasn't been good.
Corpusalo, yeah. I mean, if you look at Corpusalo, granted he's played half the game Swayman has,
Hmm.
but he's sitting at a 274 goals against with a 901 save percentage. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what you can do there, man. I mean, just looking at the goaltender side of it, I'd say you got to get Corpusalo a couple more minutes. I mean, he's earning it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been our best goalie, and we thought coming into the year that he was going to be like old self of him in Ottawa.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, making that. I mean, looking at it is a downgrade from Allmark, who has been kind of Allmark honestly lighting it up in Ottawa recently. Um, tell you about that once I pull up the stats, but yeah, I really don't. Where do you think they? Obviously, they put in Joe Sacco as the interim head coach, one of their
Hmm.
assistants on the bench. I probably won't see a hiring until the season is over.
Probably.
But um, what do you think, Sacco actually coming in from? I want to say I can't remember which. It's either BC or BU. He coached there for a little bit, but
I'm not sure.
I thought I
Yeah.
saw that somewhere. I'm scrolling Twitter, so everything you see on Twitter is true. Or put it. So here's another wild stat I just pulled up. Since Cam Neely has been vice president and or president of the Boston Bruins, this is the third Jack Adams winning coach that has been fired by this team.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. You had
again,
Claude Julian, excuse me, Bruce Cassidy, and then now Jim
Monty.
Montgomery. Yeah. It's unfortunate, and there needs to be a little more accountability from the Jacobs family and upper management.
Yeah. Well, so we'll see where this goes. See how the Bruins can make it up a little bit, but let's shift it over the division a little bit to the Sabres and Devin Levi going down to Rochester for a little bit. For a little bit at least for what it seems. Sabres did recall Isaac Rosen from Rochester, and a quote from Lindy Ruff about Levi at least just said he wants him to play game, which we could see with UPL going down last week. Whether it was an illness or a natural injury, looked more like an illness.
Hmm.
Um, Levi stepping in, he just looked rusty, to be honest with you. in the couple games I saw. So I actually like this move by the Sabres, getting them some more playing time down in the AHL.
Yeah, I mean, you want to dominate a league before you move on to the next one, right?
Yeah.
So
And
I think it's good for him, and I think it's good for his development. I think he came out of college on top in a decent year with the Sabres, his first year, the couple games that he played. Um, but I think he lost his mojo a little bit, and I think him being in Rochester would be really, really good for him. Get some game time, dominate the league, get that confidence up, and come back and be a great backup for Luukkonen.
looking forward, even uh with the Sabre keeping Luukkonen and the possible contracts they have, you never know who you're going to get to keep. I mean, look what happened in Boston with Swayman and Allmark.
Hmm.
Um, if the Sabres in the next 3 or 4 years have to make that move and some reason they can't keep hold on to Luukkonen, you want to have someone like Levi behind that can really um, pick up that slack and be that solid goaltender for you. And if we look at it right here, Levi 7 games played, 394 goals against average and a 870 save percentage. Um, but yeah, for sure, you want to get the experience, get the shots down in the AHL,
Right.
and just get them rolling again. That's the big thing.
Get a feel for a game when there's a little less pressure. Obviously you still have to win, but um, doing it with a team that has a little less pressure in Rochester, other than being in the NHL and playing against the best players in the world. I think it's a good
Yeah,
move by the Sabres. Bringing Reimer back after placing him on waivers, picked up by Anaheim, and he came right back here. Um, he's a veteran goalie, good for the locker room, a guy who has been in high pressure situations before. And he can teach the young guys like Levi and Luukkonen on what to do, like coming into high pressure games and hopefully push for a playoff spot this year.
yeah. I wasn't, I probably wasn't. I was like every other Sabres fan. I wasn't too high on the moves that the Sabres made over the um over the summer, but I I did like bringing in Reimer because I had that same thought. Get the kids someone to look up to, someone to learn from, because that's the one thing these two really haven't had in the last couple
Hmm.
of years since Craig Anderson left. And I know he's stayed around a little bit with them, but they didn't really have a lot of playing time with Craig Anderson at least, and he would have been perfect one to do it. So it's good to have another. I don't want to say old, but old workhorse in the room with them.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I know that, and I think Craig was great for that. I mean, it was a young team, and they were close. I mean, they've been close the last couple of years. It's
Yeah,
really they just need to string wins together, and they can hopefully push for a playoff spot in the next couple of years here.
yeah. So it looks like for the Americans, at least, it will be Michael Hauser behind Devin Levi. They do have Felix Sandstrom still on the roster. It is we'll see if he gets sent back down to Jacksonville, but as of right now, it's going to be Devin Levi, Michael Hauser, and Felix Sandstrom, the
Hmm.
goalies for Rochester. Um, so we'll see how that plays out in their next couple games. If I can find them here, because you know how the AHL website works, and you get every single game throughout the season.
Yeah.
Uh, looks like they go tomorrow. They're up in Laval to take on the Rocket. And then their weekend series. We got Hershey on Friday, or Hershey's actually coming to town on Friday, and then Utica back in Rochester on Saturday. So it should be interesting weekend for them. Let's see, do they have a Sunday game here? And then their Cleveland comes in, or actually no, that's next Wednesday. So yeah, no Sunday game for them, Friday and Saturday. So
Yeah.
should
No,
be a
it's
good
good.
weekend.
They'll probably play two out of the three.
Yeah, just get some time. That's all
Yep.
Lindy's looking for.
Yep.
And like I said, get him back in because I know you played goalie for a little bit of your hockey career. It's important just to feel those shots, and
Absolutely.
practice isn't the same as a game. You're not getting that same intensity, so just getting him down, getting some more playing time will do some wonders for him.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
let's move it. Keep it in the NHL. Move it over to one other thing. Um, Before we get to Alex Ovechkin, because I do want to talk about that a little bit. I think
Yeah.
we do have to talk about Ryan Reeves. Um, and his 5 games, $35,000. Um, 5 game suspension, $35,000 fine. Uh, in the shot he took on Darnell Nurse a couple nights ago.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it was a bad hit. I mean, he got, I think, what he deserved. Not necessarily meaning that he meant to do it. You could tell by the expression on his face that that wasn't his intention, but ultimately,
mhm,
it's on the player delivering the check to make sure that you're not hitting the head, and he did.
yeah.
Um, and he's gonna have to serve a suspension for that. I don't look at Reeves as a dirty player. He's a hard-nosed player, and he likes to
For
get into
sure.
the dirty areas. You know, and that's just in this game now where it's so much faster. You have a quote unquote superstar defenseman. Doesn't live
Yeah.
up to his contract, but he got his head down, moves the puck, and he gets caught up high. You just can't do that in the
Yeah.
modern age in the NHL.
And it like you said, it happens. Game moves so fast nowadays. What if you're one couple feet off, you're gonna hit someone in the head, you're gonna hit someone in the back, send them into the boards. Even
Right?
like you said, even if it's not intentional, the game just moves too fast for
Absolutely.
for people to adjust before that. So yeah, I just wanted to ask you about that quickly. So let's talk about Ovi. The other
Fucking
night,
airing it up.
yeah, last night, 31st hat trick of his career. He's 29 goals
Yep.
away from. I'm sorry, 20. He's 27 goals away from Gretzky now because he just scored today in Vegas, or actually that's the other night in Vegas. Sorry, my bad. So 28 again.
Yeah.
For his 1 millionth career goal. At least that's what the tweet says from the Golden Knights. So we could always look that up, make sure my sources
Yeah.
are
I think
correct.
I
Because
think I think
I
I think we need a little Twitter fact checking on that one.
yeah. So we'll double check. You know how much I love to trust Twitter. But yeah. What do you think? He's breaking it this year?
I don't know. He just got hurt, so you don't know. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I said no. Um, but if he keeps up this goal scoring pace, then maybe he's on pace for
Yeah.
what 51 goals this year
Yeah. Just about.
at 39 years old. Oh man,
Yeah. 15 goals in 18 games. Um. Yeah. Just tearing it up.
yeah,
Um.
he's an incredible hockey player, an incredible goal scorer, generational talent. Um, he modernized the NHL, brought a cup to Washington. Um, it's going to be amazing because he's going to do it. He's not going to retire until he does it.
Mhm.
Even if he plays at league minimum, he's not going to retire until he does it.
Yeah. Um. Which, like you said, I agree with you. I think it's going to be next year. Um. And to be fair, I don't think anyone really expected him to go on this run at the start of the year.
No.
Um. But if you look at his last 5 games, 2 goals against Utah, 3 in Vegas, and then 2 in St. Louis. He's rolling. Uh, he's at least he's at least in the plus minus. He's in the positives for every game except for Toronto on 13th where he was even, which kind of a surprise for um, Ovechkin. You know how much he likes to play defense.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah.
See if he can get there this season.
Yeah. I mean, now the way he's playing now, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, no, it's a cool thing to watch.
Yeah. Let's move it over to one of his former teammates, at least. Also, I'm looking at this one. This is the Jack Adams Award finalist for a couple of years ago.
Mm.
Lindy Ruff with the Devils, Jim Montgomery with Boston, and Dave Hackstall
The Oilers.
um, with Seattle. Yeah,
It was
Seattle
Seattle.
on here. Yeah, so all three of them not with those teams anymore. Put it that way. Um,
Hmm.
but if we move it over to former team, one of Ovechkin's former teammates, at least Evgeny Kuznetsov, tearing it up in the K right now with Moscow.
Yeah. I mean, he Maybe he just needs the Russian gas and a little nose powder. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Well, he
know,
also has Tony D'Angelo over there to get him rolling. So
oh, is he playing the KHL now too?
yeah, I thought it was especially with the comments he had a couple years back. I just found it kind of
Yeah,
funny when he signed over there. Um, but
yeah.
he
I
was
mean,
get
I'm not surprised.
yeah. But I saw one of his fight video of him a couple days ago, and he's just pounded away on this Russian kid out in that league. Because it's if you're going up, really gotta know what you're doing, especially if you're going up against someone like D'Angelo.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, kid's an animal.
yeah.
Love to have him on your team. Hate him if he's not. He's like a Brad Marchand. So, hopefully he found his place, and hopefully he's maybe makes a North American comeback. But for now, I think he burned too many bridges, and he just needs to give it time.
So let's talk a little bit about the last couple of days because we've had two games in the last 4 or 5 days here in between podcasts.
Hmm.
So two commanding victories. 9-2 against the oh my god, who do we play to? Who do
The
we play
Hornets.
Thursday?
The
Hornets,
Hornets.
that's right. 9-2 win against the Hornets and an 8-2 win last night against the Chiefs. As we move it over to the Duckies and a nice what are we calling this one? Beer league or adult league, depending on the intensity, right?
Yeah, this is
Um,
Spear League.
yeah.
You know, um, and shout out for Squanto for coming out and getting some clips for us. That was awesome.
Yeah, no, you
Uh,
gotta love it. So yeah, if you guys hadn't seen that, run over to Instagram. We got some good clips, a couple on the bench. You were our featured this week
I
on the
was,
bench.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How would that make you
Check his
feel?
stats. It was fun, dude. Like, like having somebody there. He's a good personality guy too. So, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully, we can get the mics working so we can get people mic'd up next week. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun.
Do you mean Mike's working or Mike's actually showing up?
That's what it's one and the same.
Or you actually sending me the audio?
No, I'm saying like working going directly into the phone.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But either
I
way,
still I still haven't figured out a way to like I have to look it up. I've been so busy. I took like a 7 hour nap today.
so instead of prepping for this, took
Oh
a
yeah,
nap. I see it. No, it's
I
okay.
was I was a lazy piece of shit today.
Okay, I'll make sure I'm doing all the prep work for it next time because I got a good amount of notes for this show. And you nothing. Anyway, but pretty fun couple of games.
Yep.
Let's see. David Held coming in big against the Hornets, 2 goals. Um, and as Curtis said last night, absolutely nothing um against the Chiefs. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's
Get them
it's
going.
good for their bet, keeping them close,
Who do
Um
you have?
you I don't know if I keep feeding Curtis like I've been feeding him. I think I gotta take Curtis.
I, they they mostly play on the same line too. That's the funny thing.
I know. Well, Curtis can
I
catch my passes.
so we're both passing to Curtis now. Held's just out of the circle. We're getting Curtis winning the spot.
Yeah. Little
Okay.
point shaving.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that. But it's the we're not messing with that at all because we're definitely not forcing anything. But
No, no, we're out there to win games. Doesn't matter who puts the
yeah.
puck in the net as long as it goes up on the scoreboard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a commanding win, 9-2. You came out of the night with 2 goals. Mecca had a goal, Flynn had a goal, Carl with one, Curtis with one, Held with two. I had an assist, and I took my first penalty of the year, which is rare. Um, and Joey came out with 2 points, goal and assist. And Murr stood on his head, 29 shots on goal, 27 saves. Um, it was a big morale booster going into this week as well, and we'll get into that. But I think we really needed it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just especially like we talked about last week. We had a couple really tough overtime losses.
Hmm.
But it's good, like you said, good bounce back game. Let's get rolling and get moving because we got a tough game coming up next week, I think,
Yeah,
with
we back up
Ice
against the
Wolves.
Ice Wolves. Yeah, which is a team I think we can beat. Um, we just need to have guys there, be focused, be ready to go, and um, yeah, I know it's good, and we'll see what side Carl takes for that game. Hopefully, it's with us. If not, we've got one more weapon out there against us. So, um, hopefully he makes the right choice there, and we come out with another W.
It's always a fun one when Carl gets involved. And also, where is he? He was supposed to be on today.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe you
he's
got an
just
early bedtime.
yeah. I would have much rather had him than O'Brien anyway. So it doesn't really much more
Um,
bigger personality.
and then moving into this week's game, yesterday's game, the whole team contributed. The two goals that they had weren't good goals. First one was a weird one.
Yeah,
It
I
just
mean, again, with that weird one, it's I think just not seeing shots. I know Hadley hasn't played in a little bit, and Murr's out because of daddy duty. So
mhm.
it's just a weird one it pops up over the shoulder.
Yeah,
It's
and
just a
it
weird
just
one.
bounces. Yeah, it bounces. I miss
Yeah,
it with my stick. And I like nobody touched it, just literally hit the ice and rolled in. It was one of those weird ones, but we came back strong. At that point it was 1-1, and I think in myself I was like shit, you know, but then we came back out strong, and the boys put another win together. Um, Mecca with 2 goals and assists for 3 points. Flynn with goal and assist, 2 points. Obi with two assists. Carl with a 3 point night. Curtis with a 3 goal night.
yeah,
Um, and then myself with two. Um, and yeah, little scuffle. Both of our defensemen were in the box at once.
yeah. Let's just talk about that for a second. We're rolling 4D, and two of them decide to take very selfish penalties, and then it's just you and me commanding this penalty kill in the third period, which
Yeah.
I think it was the both of us. I want to say Curtis and I want to say it was Mecca, right? On the PK.
It was either Mecca or David.
I want to
They
say it was
could
Mecca.
they could have
And the
switched
only
off to
reason,
each other at some point.
yeah, I want to say it was mostly Mecca because I know Held wouldn't play defense that well, or at least play defense. But if you want to see textbook PK, that's what we should do for the next episode. We should pull up that PK and do an analysis with it. Get our YouTube rolling and post it up there.
Yeah.
And actually break down our PK. I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I think it was a great team game. I think we just played well
Yeah.
together. Passes were crisp and tape to tape the entire game. Um, and the score reflected that, right? An 8-2 win over a team that dominates their division. Brings us to 500 on the year. Um, and yeah, I was super pumped. It's always nice leaving the rink with a win. Not, win or lose,
Hmm.
obviously everybody
Yeah.
has to get up the next day and go to work or school or whatever you may do. But it's always nice to leave the rink with a W. And these last 2 weeks have been a huge morale booster after losing three in a row the last couple of weeks. So um, definitely huge for our team. Huge um, for at least standings, and puts us in a better position to play Ice Wolves next week. And then we go back again afterwards, and we are playing Flavortown or Johnny Chimpo, a team we haven't seen
Mm.
before. Um,
Yeah. So that should be a fun one.
yeah, right after Thanksgiving break, we come back. We play Johnny Chimpo on December 5th, and then on December 12th, we're back against Flavortown, a team we know we can beat. Um,
We
you
have
know,
beat.
right? Yeah,
Uh,
it's just a matter of our boys gonna come out and play, or are we gonna be hesitant
um,
and not do what we need to do.
yeah, for sure. Looking at Johnny Chimpo here, 2-2-1. They're averaging about 3 goals a game, averaging about three against the game. Um, so see how that one goes. I know our goals per game just jumped in the last two, so that's a good, that's good for them. They're sitting. Let's see here. They have their last game was a 4-4 tie with the Ice Wolves, actually.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. They beat the Hornets 5-3, and they lost to the Chiefs 3-2. So yeah, to be honest, it's a very, very even field team, to be honest with you. And all the games were close. Hornets was 5-3, Chiefs was a 1 goal game, and obviously they tied the last Wolves.
Hmm. Yeah, and those two
That
games brought us to first in our division, 1 point above Palm Isle.
and it's interesting developments.
Yeah,
So
they also have played one less game than us, so we'll have to see by the end of the week. But
mhm.
as of right now, we are in sole control of first place in our division, followed by the Palm Isle, Fighting Banana, Black Sheep, Ice Wolves, then Flavortown. So,
Yeah, so should be an interesting couple of weeks coming up here for the Duckies. So one thing I did want to ask you on the Duckies side of stuff. I know you've been coming up off a couple Sabres games the last couple of weeks, right in the Duckies game. If any of you have seen the TikToks,
mhm,
um, and I know that at least in the last episode, you're a self-claimed beer drinker.
mhm.
So I think blind rank pregame beers.
Blind rank. Okay, okay, we can do that.
All right, so let me just do this. Now I'm just gonna pull out random stuff, okay?
Okay,
And we'll see and stuff you think you can handle before a game and still
okay,
actually perform. Okay.
okay.
Start off with Miller. Give you an interesting
Miller's
one.
Miller's gonna be number one for me. That's my
Okay.
go-to.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's pretty light. So and it doesn't have bad taste to it.
No, no, it's still good beer. Um, I think that's my favorite. It's by far my favorite. Um, I wouldn't actually say it's my favorite. It's my favorite pregame beer.
Let's hit you with let's go with the Modeo.
Never had one.
Never had a Modelo. I'd put that around two. I give it a little bit lighter than Corona.
Hmm.
Still kind of rolls with it. And for the record, I'm putting Miller at about four. I'm just not a big fan of it.
Hmm.
Um, but again, Modelo's a little bit lighter. Let's see what that you know. But let's change it up though. Let's not do Modelo for you. How about a Blue Moon?
Blue Moon. I don't like Blue Moon. I don't know why. First time I ever had a Blue Moon this past summer in Boston, and I just wasn't a fan. I don't know. Maybe. I, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was just like I'm not going to go out of my way to drink this. If it's free, then yes. But it wasn't something that was like, yeah, this is my favorite thing of all time.
The one thing that we did when I worked at this bar, we did a thing called an Angry Moon. And if you're not a big fan of Blue Moon itself, I think this would be something you want to try. So you just do half and half, a Blue Moon and an Angry Orchard.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
It it's actually pretty good, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
The
I've got trauma. I've got trauma from when I was a kid. The first ever time I like got drunk, I stole like Angry Orchards from my parents. It was just in the garage fridge,
Mhm.
and I got so hammered, and I ended up yakking, and it just felt like I was throwing up apple chunks. And I will never touch an Angry Orchard or any cider beer ever again in my life. This was when I was like 15 years old, and never again. Never again will I ever.
Yeah, so well, this turned into a fun game. Um, let's get you let's throw Southern Tier IPA at you.
If it's a Southern Tier 2X Juice Jolt, I'd put that at number four.
Number four. And you have experience coming in for
Yeah.
games off a couple of those. Yeah, how'd that go for you?
Not great, honestly. Um, it there are still other things that like drinking IPA, I need to make sure I eat because they just hit you so much harder and so much faster. Um, but they also wear out faster, I find. So with that, you know, pre-game, you're outside. If you're drinking an IPA before the game, that's the one I'd want to be drinking. But it's not something smart to drink before the game. I just love them so much. That's why I put them at four. They are my number two beer. on my tier ranking of my favorite beers, but I would put it at number four prior to Octagon.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's throw you. I'm gonna throw you for a little loop on this one.
Okay.
Guinness.
Never. Oh, that's not true.
Uh,
I don't like the taste of coffee, and Guinness tastes a lot like coffee. So I
okay,
would
I could see
probably
that.
it's just a texture thing. Like Guinness is bitter. So I just so prior to a game, I'd have to put that at like way down the list. Also, just because like every time I drink one of them, I feel like throwing up because I just hate the taste of coffee.
Well, put it this way: you have two and three left. So which one is it?
Oh, we're doing that at five?
Yeah, out of five.
Then I would put it at five.
You put F. Okay, you just. I had. You said you had Blue Moon down at five. Southern Tier at four.
Oh, okay, okay.
You said, yeah. So
Fuck.
you got Guinness. It's between two and three.
I guess three. I mean,
Three.
yeah.
And
Fuck. Now I wish I would have put Juice Troll at three.
yeah, yeah. That's why I like this game.
I thought we were going out of
Well,
10. I thought we were going out of 10.
no, we're not doing out of ten. That's just no one's gonna stick around that long to listen to you us list off 10 beers. Um, and we'll obviously so we'll go with PBR. Obviously, it has to go in at two. But what are your thoughts on PBR? Pretty
I
good.
have not had one in a long. It's probably been like freshman year of college, late high school, the last time I had a PBR, and I don't really remember the taste of it. Um, I just feel like it's like a shittier Miller Lite, a shittier Bud Light. Like it's just so cheap,
Yeah,
so it can't be any good.
I put it right around like Blue Light, Bud Light, right in that same
Yeah.
category at least.
I
You know,
just
one
don't
thing.
remember. I don't remember the last time I had one, so I don't remember the taste.
Yeah, yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I'd see that. It's not the most popular beer anymore, but you know, it was real big back in the day.
Well, you can go get that
You know,
180 pack for $100.
maybe that's what we need to do for Ice Wolves.
Hmm.
You get us going for the game. You know, it's Thanksgiving week too. Most of it. I know I'm off that Wednesday anyway, so could really
Yeah, but
roll
I
it
got
out
I got
for
I got to
Ice
drive
Wolves.
7 hours. I got to drive 7 hours that
Uh,
day.
where you
I got to
go?
drive.
What do you got? Where are you going?
So I got to go home to my parents' house.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
anyway, so let's switch it up just a little bit. Um, I know you're not because I know you're basically just a beer drinker, but if you had to choose a mixed drink to throw in pregame, what are you going with?
Ooh. Pre-game, probably like a Pink Whitney, but like with pink lemonade, just to water it down a little bit.
Yeah, I got you.
Um, it's hard for me to drink hard liquor when it's warm, and a lot of the times the
Mhm.
shooters are warm. So like I think that's what I would do. But if I can drink it warm with like cold pink lemonade, that like I'd be chill with that. But
Okay.
other than that, I make here at home, and even though it sounds terrible, I do Crown Apple and Mountain Dew.
I've actually heard some okay things about that, to be honest with you.
Like if I
Um,
run out of beer here at home and I'm like, okay, I want one more drink before bed, and that makes me pass out every single time. And I don't get a hangover from it because the
that's
caffeine like
yeah.
keeps me going. I mean, if I drink a lot of it, obviously, but I'm not a huge liquor drinker. I mean, you've seen the effects of when I am. It doesn't end well.
Yeah,
When
but
I
it's fun. It's fun though. Fun to
oh
watch.
yeah, it's fun to watch. Yeah, it's not fun to deal with the next morning.
Oh, that's not my problem.
No, no, that's mine. Uh,
Well,
I
you
do
know
this.
why you know why Mountain Dew was created, right?
I do not.
It was supposed to be a mixer for moonshine.
Really?
Yeah, because you know, just as you said, the caffeine will counteract a little bit of the some of the alcohol and not give you the biggest nastiest hangover the next day.
Mhm.
And well, you know how moonshine can be. It can really, I mean, it's fucking grain alcohol.
Yeah, I mean it's basically
But
illegal unless you get like the the lesser versions of the store-bought
Eh,
side.
go to 10. I have a couple of. I bet you there's some backwoods people in Tennessee who have something to say about that.
Well, they
But
know it's illegal. Doesn't
eh,
mean it's not
just
good.
just because it's not illegal if you don't get caught.
Not illegal if you don't get convicted.
Oh, okay. Taking it the next step. Um, I mean, you're right. You're right though.
Innocent until proven guilty. This is America, baby.
Let's take a look, see what's going on in the world. Let's take a quick look at college because I know there's at least one game on today. I want to say it was BU and Providence
All right, little
tonight.
hockey East matchup.
Yeah. So that should be an interesting one to look to see. Let me just look that up to make sure I'm right because you know how right I've been today so far. Not very. Um, yep, yep. So BU and Providence should be a good matchup coming up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're probably just on the first period right now. Starting their
Yeah, it was
second.
7. Yeah, 7 o'clock start. Yeah.
AIC
Oh,
taking on Stonehill.
no, my bad. Boston College, the Eagles.
Yeah, you said that. You said BC.
Oh, I did. I'm
Yeah.
all over the place. I haven't had anything to drink this entire podcast.
Huh,
That's what it is. I'm too sober.
too sober.
Yeah. You know
Let's
how
see if any of my buddies are working the American international game.
what's that? The rivalry series or
They're playing Stonehill.
oh, you're talking about AIC. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, AIC.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, no, and that's going to be a team that they're going to be playing in the NE10 next year. So they're getting their scouts in quick, seeing how they play.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, they did last game. They did lose to Bentley 3-0 last game. So we'll
Yeah,
see
and
how this one goes.
Bentley is going to be one of the top teams right now. In the Atlantic, they're playing well. SHU, I think will win the game or win this. They'll win the conference, but
Let's take a look, see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, don't go on AIC's Twitter because I'm pretty sure I'm more active on ours than they
yeah,
are. So
no,
that's
their
a D
website's
that,
terrible.
that's a D1 hockey school for you. The Rubber Duckies make them look horrible.
Mm.
At least we're winning in something. Um,
This is why they're going to
yeah,
Division
going
Two.
deep. Yeah. But you know, while we're talking about Atlantic hockey, Sacred Heart 6-3 win over Robert Morris. Niagara taking a close one 3-2 over Holy Cross. Army 4-2 over RIT, and Air Force taking down Mercyhurst 4-1. So pretty solid weekend for Atlantic
Yeah,
all around.
yeah. Um, and a lot of league play going on right now. We're getting into that. The
Yeah,
the
like that.
the heart of the season where it's mostly league games. You're not really playing many out of conference games, but
Mhm.
yeah,
If you look at it right now, Niagara is sitting on top of the Atlantic with 19 points. Bentley right behind him with 18, and then Sacred Heart sitting in third. Um, so should be should be interesting just to see this next month because, as you said, going to be a lot of conference games coming up for them.
yeah. That's gonna be fun. RIT with the biggest drop off. They're not
Yeah,
playing well.
6 points, 2-5 record. They
Yeah,
are
not looking good.
they have a negative 10 goal differential.
Yeah, they are
That
not the
is
team they were last year.
Yeah, because they went to the tournament last year. Yeah,
Yeah,
won
yeah,
the
that was
won the conference.
yeah one Atlantic Hockey when it was still Atlantic Hockey last year. Obviously, the merger this year. Um,
Yeah.
just not looking good this year. It's going to be a big rebuild time for RIT hockey.
hmm I'd say one of the bigger surprises though would be that Niagara sitting on top because they were not that good last year.
They
They
were
kind
still
of
pretty good. They were still
yeah,
pretty
but
good. Um, Niagara's one of those teams where they are a very grindy team. And
Mhm.
it's hard to tell um what team you're gonna get when they come in. Sometimes they play amazing, sometimes they play eh, you know.
Yeah. I mean, everything. I mean, they've had the last couple games been pretty solid. Like I said, 3-2 win over Holy Cross. They tied them the night before. Split against Army last weekend, and well, it's pretty even actually. A split against Mercyhurst the weekend before. So,
Yeah.
um, and let's see where they going. They got AIC this upcoming weekend, and then Union after that. So, and then they got to go out to Colorado to see Air Force.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a hell of a
so
trip.
yeah. Well, actually, I want to say it was one of the games you had last year, and I was talking to I was working the other sheet for a tournament. I was talking to one of the guys, and Air Force came in to play Niagara, and they're like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Oh, is there a D1 game today?" He goes, "Yeah, they're next door." I'm like, "Oh, you know who that guy?" He goes, "Oh yeah, Air Force." I'm like, "Oh,
No,
so there should be yeah."
they're playing Army
I know this was last year though.
last year. No, 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 yeah. The game I worked, it was Army.
Oh, okay, you might not have been working then. But I
Yeah.
know they had Air Force came in at least. Um, But the guy goes, yeah, they're sitting, he was sitting there in the room with them getting dressed. Goes, yeah, I was just talking to one of the guys. He flew the plane, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
Um, it was interesting having a couple of your players fly in for the game. But
Yeah.
yes, those are the perks of going to the Air Force Academy.
Perks of going to military school, right?
Yeah. Um, and speaking of the military schools with the Buffalo connection, Marty Biron's kid is a goaltender on the Army squad.
Is he really?
Yeah, and he got into a game against Canisius a couple weeks ago. I saw it during a game. Marty does the intermission shows with Brian Duff for the Sabres.
Yeah, yeah.
And he didn't watch a single minute of that Sabres game because he got the call saying his kid was in next door at Harbor Center. So he stayed, did the intermission shows, got up, ran across the street to watch his kid, and ran back for the just to do his intermission slots.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I mean that's
yeah,
huge.
it was.
Um,
I wanted if I look it up, I want to say that was his at least his first action of the year. I don't think he started that game. I think he was thrown in halfway through, but it was his first action, um, first collegiate action at least. So good
Jacob
for him.
Buron.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. It's cool to see because even a lot of these top coaches and top guys, they have guys going to the academies. Like the head coach of Penn State, Guy Gadowski, his son also goes to Army and plays there. And that kid, he's huge. He's skinny as a bone though,
Hmm.
but he's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's fun. To be honest with you, I actually like when Army comes in or Air Force comes in. I actually like going to those games because those are teams are fast. Those kids are so fast, and it's D1 hockey, but I think when Army and Air Force come in, I just think the game picks up a extra notch. I don't know what it is,
I mean,
but
I think
they're
it's a
always
lot of it being military, right? Like
yeah.
you are held to such a higher standard there, where your workouts are such a higher standard. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I think that's part of it.
So it should be interesting to see what goes on there, at least for Niagara in the next couple of weeks. Should be
Hmm.
interesting. I'm gonna just flip it over to the women's hockey side of stuff right now. We're gonna keep it with the Atlantic at least. Let me just pull my standings up here, and Penn State sitting on top. Mercyhurst right behind them with 9. Syracuse coming to the rear with 7, sitting in third. Um, Overall pretty solid. I mean,
Yeah.
Penn State's undefeated right now in conference at least.
Yep.
4-0, 11-3 overall. Um, Looks like they're just kind of rolling.
Yeah. They're I mean they're always got a team. They've got Tessa Janicki who plays on the women's national team as a college student. So I mean that helps, right? Um,
Yeah.
RIT losing two crucial games to Syracuse this week. Um, and I worked one of the games on Saturday, and it's just our team needs to find ways to string games together. They just haven't done it all year. Um,
Yeah, they're tight ones too. 4-2 and shutout
and
1-0.
yeah, 1-0.
Yeah.
Um, they just need to start doing the right things. I mean, Mercyhurst is always going to be a powerhouse. Their head coach always has great recruits coming in from overseas. Lindenwood has only one more point than Robert Morris, or 2 points, but one win over him. Um, and these teams, like if Robert Morris came back last year, um, after folding their program right after COVID, um, there's a lot of parity in this league. I mean, and Penn State can lose really close games as well. I mean, I've seen it in the past. Um, so
So,
just especially for these schools like RIT, Lindenwood, Robert Morris. RIT took a huge step last year, and I feel like they've regressed a lot in this year, and it's not looking good for them.
yeah, I mean, and again, it's something to be honest with you, I do enjoy watching women's hockey, like we talked about last week. I was watching that rivalry series.
Mhm.
PWHL, I caught a couple games of the last year.
Yeah, they're
they're
coming to Buffalo.
entertaining. Oh, are they? They
Yeah, I think
finally
it's
announced it?
January 23rd. It's not a team; it's just a game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We might have to cop some tickets to that one.
yeah,
Because to be honest
I'd
with
love to do
you,
that.
they're super entertaining. There's less, there's no hitting in women's hockey, but at least the PWHL, they're bumping, they're moving. Honestly, they're
You
pretty
can
much
you
their
can
own hit.
check in the PWHL now, just no open ice hits.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
But it makes the game a lot more fun. But I always like it was
absolutely, and,
always
and
more
that's
of a
what women
skill
want.
based. Yeah,
They want that, and that's like when I translate when I'm refing a women's game, I translate that to obviously nothing egregious, right?
yeah.
But
Hmm.
like if girls want to play hard, play physical, and it's fair, I'm all for it. I don't want
Yeah,
to be throwing my arm up every 3 seconds.
yeah. But, there's just honestly, I think it's a little bit faster than the men's game just because it's more talent based.
Hmm.
Um, and their hand, I want to say it was God, it had to be almost 10 years ago now. It was the women's World Juniors. Were in Buffalo, and I remember
Hmm.
I went to. I want to say it was Russia was in it. That's how long ago it was. Um, I want to say it was Russia and switch. No, no, that was the men's game I saw. I want to say it was Russia and the Czech Republic.
Okay.
Just, just in like it was like prelim game, and it was a 6-4 game. It was back and forth. They were flying across the ice. It was a real entertaining game. Uh, I enjoy. It's fun to watch, fun to see the hands and the way they can shoot that puck. They pull it in and just get that quick little snapper right off, and
Hmm.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Looking at because when you were talking about those girls coming in from overseas, at least for Mercyhurst, I just looked it up. I want to say other than Canadians, I want to say they have
It's like one or two
seven.
Americans.
Yeah, it's one or two Americans, other Canadians. I want to say there's 7 or 8 imports from Europe, mostly
Yeah.
Swedes and Finns, and one Hungarian on the team. Oh, and an
Yeah.
Austrian.
And they had a girl from their starting goaltender last year was from Norway, plays on their national
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's should be. This game might have to. We might have to come out and cheer on the refs when Mercyhurst comes into RIT.
Yeah.
Might have
If
to
I
take
had
a
like
Duckies trip out there and cheer on the linesmen.
little Duckies, you.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what Duckies need would come. I bet you I could get a couple of the Ducks in a row.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. Anyway, so what the big things you're looking to, speaking of Duckies, one last time before we head out here. What are we looking at for next week? What do you think keys to the game coming up against the Ice Wolves would be?
I think just keeping it simple. We can't go into it thinking that we're gonna kill them. So there's keys to the game, like looking at the guys that are always good for them. We just need to make sure that we're keeping an eye on them and getting sticks on pucks, playing simple. Simple hockey is something we have done the last 2 weeks, and I think we have kind of started to find our game with ourselves. and also having the guys there that we need to have there. I know Mecca lost, or wasn't there the first game against the Ice Wolves. You know, he had prior commitments, and I think having guys there that can help us succeed is going to be huge. Anytime that I have to play offense, it's not going to be a good night. So just having guys there that we can work together as a team and put another W together. And I think as a team we're in a good position to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, not having Mecca, I think, is what really hurt us the last game against these guys. We
Mm,
took them to overtime. Obviously lost in overtime if he keep up with the Instagram, but and we know how Mecca can be. He's always flying out on the ice, moving the puck, shoot. And that's the one thing we didn't shoot a lot the last game against them. We just need to start putting pucks
yeah.
on net. I mean, if you look at my goal against the Ice Wolves, I just kind of I didn't even look at the net. I turned and fired, and you know
Right.
what? It
Yeah.
went in. Yeah.
Getting
So
pucks on net, just play simple hockey. You don't need to be
yeah,
doing fancy stuff. And then obviously, but whatever which way Carl decides to go for that game, obviously he's going to be a threat out there if we have to play against him. So just making sure that we just get stick on stick, and you know, I think we will be successful. Um, all those guys are great guys over there on the Ice Wolves, but ultimately when it's game time, you want to win. So uh, hopefully we can string another game, make it a 3-game win streak, and because that's when it becomes a streak, right? So um, we just keep playing well, and then we'll look on to a new team in the C3 division the next week.
yeah. So I think that will do it for this week on the Duck Pond. If you want to keep up with the action over the week, you can follow us on Instagram, Rubber Duckies Hockey, Twitter, Rubber Duckies HC, and you got a new TikTok, did you not?
Yep, we got a new TikTok, so it's rubber.duckies.hockey on TikTok. We got a couple uploads now. Maybe just some fun stuff. Doesn't have to be as serious. TikTok's for. So drop a follow. There's good content to come. Hopefully we can get these mics working so we get a little more stuff to go out. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this season. I think we've started a little slow start, but I think overall it'll be good. So I'm looking forward to next week and a little break, and then coming back and just keep having fun.
I guess we will end it here. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening to Duck Pond.